Mpondwana says Kodwa denies any wrongdoing despite being charged.
Mr. Kodwa has informed the President that he'll resign as Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture and Member of Cabinet. Mr. Kodwa expresses his sincere appreciation to the President and the governing party for the opportunity to serve the nation.
The now former minister was granted 30,000 rand bail this afternoon after handing himself over to law enforcement authorities. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
Convicted killer and rapist Thabo Bester has begged the Bloemfontein High Court to reinstate and apply the death penalty on him during his pre-trial hearing today. Bester, his lover and accomplice Nandi Pamagudumana and 7 others, including her father, appeared in the Bloemfontein High Court in connection with Bester's brazen escape from the Mangaung prison. Homotsumodise reports.
The death penalty was abolished in South Africa in June 1995, but convicted killer and rapist Thabo Bester, who fled from custody, wants it to be brought back just for him. He believes this will be grounds for his accomplices, including his lover, Dr. Nandi Pamagudumana, to be set free.
It tears me apart to see these people in this court, knowing very well that they're suffering for something they know nothing about. I request that the public, if they are so convinced, if the prosecution is so convinced that I am the waste of these people's lives, that the public signs a petition and I be given a death sentence.
Judge President Cagney Musi has told Bester that his petition is irrelevant and he should rather make a formal application for his conditions in prison to be relaxed. Khomzomodise, Eyewitness News at the Bloemfontein High Court.
And the ANC says the MK party has snubbed coalition talks so far as parties scramble to agree on a power-sharing deal. The party suffered a humiliating loss at the May 29th polls and is currently shopping around for coalition partners. The party's National Working Committee met yesterday to deliberate on the outcomes of some of the coalition talks. On the weather front, Gauteng will be fine tomorrow, Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 3 degrees, peaking at 20. Pretoria 5 and 22, Vereeniging 3 also reaching a high of 22. Lerato Hufela, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
#MSW. You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Coach Jose Riviero, Orlando Pirates coach, joins me.
Let me commend the coach Robert for applying his mind when asked questions. During his interview, he was asked about the strategy he applied for overcoming Sundowns. His response was, if I tell, then how am I going to defeat Sundowns in future?
Coach, can you please, this is it. Get Jamie Weber and Azola Chobeni. Don't loan Azola Chobeni this season, coach.
You're getting the instructions, eh? They did say it's the people's team.
Well, he has a good eye for the players, and yeah, the league is full of talent. Everybody can have different opinions. I think we have a good squad. We can trust them to play for Pirates.
Oh, happy people!
Your collective genius from the bench, having taken what they would call a footballing gamble, isn't that?
Trying to play the game before we play the game.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
We are going to be in conversation with Steve Barker, Stellenbosch FC head coach. What a season they've had. What a season he's had. He's here already in studio, but we can't run away from what's been making the headlines here today. And it doesn't get any worse, does it? And it certainly must be the biggest sporting shame or controversy, whichever way you look at it, this year as far as our country is concerned. Sports, Arts and Culture Minister Zizi Kodwa resigning amidst corruption charges involving alleged bribes and luxury perks totaling over 1.6 million rand. He appeared alongside his co-accused, the former EOH boss Jehan McKay, at the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court sitting in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court today. It's also alleged that Godwa received bribes from McKay, and in exchange, his company was awarded 400 million rand in government contracts. So to just break down what this means, not to get into the details of this particular case, we are going to bring on board BBK, Barong Bartukorchas, Sunday Times sports editor, onto the line to just maybe give us a sense of what he makes of this. BBK, thank you so much for your time. Good evening. Has anything in recent memory ever brought us to where we are right now?
Good evening to you, Robert, and your listeners. My humble greetings to Coach Steve Parker. Congratulations on finishing third, winning the inaugural Talent Cup competition, and go to South Africa Priority Confederation Cup. Back to the matter in question, I don't seem to recall in my memory. I think this is something that will go down as an act of responsibility, I would say, on the part of Zizi Godwa, for him to be able to go up here in court today and say that he's not going to plead guilty on the charges that he faces, but for him to be able, of his own accord, to put the department, to put the ministry, to put his government away from this, for him to be able to go and face the music on his own, and in doing so, not saying that he's guilty of anything, but in saying that this is the appropriate platform for these charges to be dealt with, in order for him not to find himself being put through a court of public opinion and be found guilty or not guilty there. This is the right avenue. If there's nothing for him to be prosecuted for, the court is going to pronounce itself. And if there's something for him to answer to and is found guilty, likewise, the court is going to make a judgment that is according.
So from a sporting perspective, you're saying that it's well handled outside of whatever the trial or the case will have moving forward, BBK. But sport, as we look at it now, we're 51 days away from the Paris Olympic Games, and without a ministry or a minister of sport, what does that say?
I think that we are not going to be hamstrung by anything that is happening outside of our preparation for the Olympics. As far as I understand, the minister is not responsible for the organization and the preparation of the team that is going to be Team South Africa going to fly the South African flag in Paris. I think that you've got an organization like SASCOC that is clearly mandated to put together a team, make sure that sporting courts across the spectrum have got athletes who qualify and meet the requirements that make them to be able to go and compete in these games. I think that what you would see is that the minister is there to make sure that the conditions are conducive for all federations, sporting federations in the country, to be able to go and do what they do best and display their sporting excellence. He would be then ceremonial in terms of the Springboks going to compete at the World Cup, being there, being present, talking to the team, giving words of preparation. He would even go as far as wearing a coaching cap that we didn't know that he had in the dressing room of Bafana after losing to Mali. That kind of support, that kind of saying that as the government of South Africa, as the people of South Africa, we are behind you. You would have seen him trade leather, for the lack of a better word, in terms of the formulation of boxing South Africa's board and whatever it is that was happening there between the Promoters Association, him and them going to court and eventually finding way to settle the matter outside of court. It's still going on. So necessarily in terms of having an impact that is going to be negative for our upcoming games in terms of the Olympics, I do not see it hindering us in any way. But it does not need to take long. We still have a government, you still have a president until the new president itself and the new executive is put in place. It is the prerogative, I would think, of President Matamela Ramaphosa then to put someone to take charge of the department while these matters happen.
Yeah, a lot of people, BBK, have always spoken about these particular ministries as well, especially within the Ministry of Sports, Arts and Culture. I know that we're going to be moving into a post-election period right now. Are they people you look at as BBK, finally here, just your thought, a personal thought, to say that so-and-so would ultimately make a good Minister of Sport, for example? Are there such people that are ready made, or do these things just political appointments?
You know, my personal opinion, which I've also penned in the pages of the Sunday Times, where I'm employed, Robert, in my column, Unplugged, I've always kind of felt like it is a ministry, be it under President Mbeki, President Ramaphosa, President Zuma, which was not really given a thought in terms of putting someone with a gravitas and the grasp and the knowledge of taking people forward, in the sense that it is a pivotal department. It's a department where you've got a lot of children who aspire for greatness in various sporting codes, where you get someone who's going to create conditions that are conducive for those children to thrive, for them to perform in excellence, to create conditions that are going to be able to have departments like education, Department of Health, and Department of Sports to come up with a plan that is going to be able to be a pathway to excellence. You take examples from other countries which excel, especially in the games that we go into, like your Australia, like your China, like your America, and look at what they've done, but use it using the conditions prevailing in the country. Sport is something that many countries, especially countries like ours, where there's so much poverty, but there's a lot of talent, where you can use that as your ticket out of the ghetto, as it were. So I've said in the past that the one minister for whom I've doffed my famous cap for was Steve Tshwete, because he was not shy to really roll up his sleeves and get his hands dirty and tackle matters head on. Not because he was arrogant, not because he was stupid, not because he was careless, but because he understood, at least from my point of view, the challenges that this country faces from where we come from, at the leveling of the playing field, and also not mincing his words in saying that transformation is not something that is going to be something that is spoken to in hush-hush in the corridors, and not being stated as something that needs to be achieved. So I am saying that we are in a situation, we've come out of the elections chamber, and we have a situation where there's no organization that's come out with a clear majority. I think that there's going to be a lot of horse trading. There's going to be a lot of give and take. And you may find a situation where people agree in collisions, then others are saying that if you want me to be part of your stokvel, as it were, you have to give me ABC portfolio and stuff like that. So I can't put out a name now, because one thing for sure, that name is not going to come from any one political party which has got a majority, but whoever that they decide, once they get their agreements, they must think about the fact that this is one portfolio which must not be thought of as, oh no, let's just give them, it's not important. It is crucial. A lot of people around the world have come through from what their countries have devoted in their sporting ministry, and they are well-known, world-class athletes who've been able to be given a platform to create a wonderful legacy for themselves during their time and also post their heyday.
Well put out, BBK. Looking forward to reading, as always, your column in the Sunday Times. He's the Sunday Times sports editor, BBK Kortjas. Thank you so much indeed, BBK.
Thank you, Temba. And let's spare a thought also for the people of the provinces of KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape for the devastating things that they've gone through with the storms there and the flooding. And let's not just leave it up to the gift of the givers. Let us also give from the little that we have and assist where we can with our time, financially and everything, even in prayers, be it Allah or God or Jah, whoever that is that you pray to. Thank you, Temba. Thank you to your listeners.
Thank you so much, BBK. Fully agree with that sentiment right there at the end. Indeed, lots of devastation across the country. Not covering the Zizi Kodwa incident, as we've come to learn of it, headline making throughout the entire day. Mr. Kodwa has informed the president, though, that he will resign and has resigned as the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, as well as member of cabinet after being formally charged. And he also expressed a sincere appreciation to the president and to the governing body and the governing party as well for the opportunity to serve the nation. He also takes the opportunity to express his thanks to all staff at the Ministry of Arts, Sports, as well as Culture for the opportunity to serve with them and all the stakeholders in the department with whom he has worked with as a minister. So that's the situation. If you're just joining us, this is Wednesday Soccer Nights right here on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM with myself, Robert Marawa. Win with Snickers by rating the ultimate goal that could take you, yes you, to Europe.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Coach Jose Riviero, Orlando Pirates coach, joins me. When did you start becoming so good in the kitchen?
We have really good ingredients in the kitchen. Let's put it in this way. We have a fantastic kitchen and we have the best ingredients that we can have in our context. So it's not that difficult to finalize a good product like I think that we are right now. That's what I try to say with that expression, that we're working, we know what we are doing.
If you don't have a good chef, you wouldn't be doing this.
What we are, how you used to say here, cooking.
You're cooking, coach.
We are cooking.
Cooking in the kitchen. Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
It's a different kind of cooking that we are having right now. Tonight, the 2023 Premier Soccer League season witnessing Stellenbosch FC achieving unprecedented success. The club from the Cape Winelands, well, they made history by securing its first top flight trophy in the newly rebranded Carling Knockout competition. Also, additionally, the club's reserve team, they claimed the DStv Diski Challenge Championship for the second time now, showcasing their depth as far as talent is concerned. So Stellenbosch FC's outstanding performance led to its best ever finish in a top flight competition and domestic campaign as well. Sealing third position, as BBK said early on, as he was congratulating the coach of Stellenbosch. Now, it achieved impressive victories if you look back. I mean, over prominent teams, the likes of Orlando Pirates, Cape Town City, Royal AM, TS Galaxy, you name them. Now, this remarkable season was the culmination of hard work as well as dedication from a team of very promising young players. Head coach Steve Barker joins me to share his insights of what was an extraordinary season. Coach, thank you so much for popping into our studio. Good to see you.
Thank you, Robert. You're welcome, and good evening to all your listeners.
Proud season, man. I don't know if you heard BBK. He was saying his congratulations to you, and I think everybody who really follows football is excited with what happened.
Yes, thank you, Robert and BBK, and it was a really good season for us, I think. Yeah. We started the season, it wasn't easy. We had a lot of sort of changes to our squad, and we lost, at the time, I thought, a lot of key players, and whether it was Junior Mendieta, Oxum Tetwa. It took a while to find our feet. I think up until we lost to Sundowns in this sort of 8th game of the season, we were lying near the bottom of the table. But I think then we sort of found our feet. The new players that had come in, we sort of figured out, what the best way to play with them. And then, obviously going on that in a sort of magnificent 25-game unbeaten run. A magnificent season for us, our maiden trophy. Qualifying for Africa, and as you say, our Diski team, they've won the league again, second time in the last 3 years. So a lot of good things are happening for us.
Why though? What are we attributing this to? I mean, it's your best ever PSL season, but everybody looks at Stellenbosch now and says it's been coming. It's been a long time coming. What do you think has been the difference this season?
I think there's no one real sort of reason, but I think a couple of standout reasons was in our second season, we almost got relegated. We finished sort of 14th in the league. We had our last game of the season, we needed a point to stay in the league. But what maybe at the time I kept on, saying that we had a really young team, and it was a short-term risk, but hopefully it was going to be a long-term reward. And I think that perseverance with playing the younger players, such as Atankosi Mkaba, Jaden Adams, then Devin Titus, to name a few, that have now sort of graduated, to think like a player like Jaden has got over 100 PSL caps and he's only 22. Devin is over 50. Antonio Faveka's reached 50. Atankosi Mkaba. So, that sort of experience that they've gained over those years. So although they're youngish in age and being sort of 21, 22, 23, their PSL experience is extensive. And I think that sort of, short-term risk by doing that, we are now reaping the rewards of those players that won a league with a Diski. They know how to sort of win. And then the other big thing is I think our recruitment has been really good. Although we have lost, influential players, bringing in players like Ishmael Toure at centre back, Ura Aniset has done a really a big season for us. Thabo Moloswani, Janino Palace, to name a couple that we brought in. And so the recruitment has been good, long-term sort of development of the players. And lastly, I think, just sound management of the football club, good foundations that have been laid, and an excellent staff who really, in my opinion, are of the best in the league.
Steve Bonker, my guest. We're going to be chatting more about the season that was, and we will take your comments as well. Feel free to give us a call on 011-838-947, or else drop us a WhatsApp voice note.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
At Spar, we've checked every price, counted every coin, and cut every cost to bring you Spar Super Saver Week. Get even more for your money, like 700ml all gold tomato sauce for $34.99 and 2-liter Excella sunflower oil for $59.99. It's Super Saver Week at Spar. 3 till 9 June 2024 only. Don't miss out. Exclusive to Spar Rewards customers.
Uninterrupted and uncapped entertainment begins here. Get Telkom Unlimited LTE all hours 20 megabits per second for 599 Rand per month, or get Core Fiber 50 by 25 for 619 Rand per month. Sign up to an LTE or fiber plan and get a 3-month subscription to Prime Video on us so you can press play on all the thumbs up movies and shows. Call 10213, click telkom.co.za or go to any Telkom shop. T's and C's apply.
Yeah, we see them rolling these wannabe players, all the bling in the brands, desperate for the riz on the socials. Here's a secret. With Lulabet, anyone can be a serious player. You get all the hottest table games and slots with easy registration and unbeatable support 24/7, anytime, anywhere, like a boss player. Lulabet, make the score you want with less hustle, less hassle, and more yes. Don't just bet, Lulabet.
Lulabet supports the National Responsible Gambling Program. Winners know when to stop. Only persons over 18 are permitted to gamble. Problem gambling counselling toll-free hotline 08600 006 008.
You are the boss BGP. Breaking down spreadsheets without breaking a sweat. Except now you are breaking down in a broken down car. Marawa, why aren't you insured with Santam, the leading short-term insurer that gives you 24/7 emergency services such as home drive and roadside assistance? For a comparative quote, call Santam on 0860 444 444. Santam, insurance good and proper. Santam is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer and controlling company for its group companies.
Haha, McCain chips.
Careful, it's hot.
Ooh, hot.
You know what's also hot, Dad?
What?
Well, with McCain, you could win your share of 1 million Rand in prizes, including a Mauritius family holiday.
Buy any 2 McCain chips and veg 1 kg 750 or 700 gram packs. Dial *120 *1536 hash or visit the McCain SA website and social media pages for more details. T's and C's apply.
McCain.
Made for sharing.
We weren't born to stand still. You know what I'm talking about. The itchy feet, constantly on the hunt for the next hustle, the next adventure, the next horizon. We get it. It's in our DNA. This inner drive to push, own our path, and be more. Which is why we're excited to introduce the all-new Suzuki Jimny 5-Door.
The Suzuki Jimny 5-Door, born for the urban jungle and more. Now with extra space, wireless connectivity, and rear-view camera. Suzuki Jimny 5-Door, born for more. Available from 429,900.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Coach Jose Rivera, Orlando Pirates coach, joins me. Some people have given up. Some people just play in the DStv Premiership to survive relegation or to be in the top 8, etc. They've given up on competing. To say, can they close the gap on Mamelodi Sundowns? What would it take?
It's a question of, in my opinion, that we get more mature as a group to accept the challenge every 3 days and not just sometimes. We were not good enough. Sometimes we were not lucky even enough in the beginning of the season. The distance got too big early.
#MSW. #MSW.
Hola, bro. Good house church was Kukun. Mawana Mo Utsoro, one of the most underrated coaches in South African football, a class of his own. A man who I can say, let's give him flowers while he can still smell it, because of he had a wonderful season this season. And to the coach, I say congratulations for having a wonderful season, for managing to take Stellenbosch from where they were last season to where they are this season, and managing to qualify for every competition that the league can offer, and also going to Africa. And I also wish you a good luck for the coming CAF competition, because it's the first time the club goes to CAF competition without experience of CAF. But I wish you one of the best, coach. I wish you one of the best. And my question to you, the coach, is Stellenbosch in terms of the squad depth ready for the upcoming competition, because they're playing in 5 competitions?
Yeah, fully agree with that. Do send us your WhatsApp voice notes as well. Any questions or comments? Coach Stevie Barker is my guest here tonight, coach of Stellenbosch Football Club. And he's congratulating you. Obviously, CAF now comes into play. And we were just saying off air, and maybe just an opportunity to update the listeners with regards to why you're still up in Joburg.
Yeah, I'm busy doing my CAF A license. So it was over 4 phases, each, a week long.
Yeah.
During the FIFA breaks. This is our last phase. I finished the course on Saturday. So officially, hopefully, I get my license. The graduation is on Friday, so looking forward to that.
What does it mean to you personally, though? I mean, we've seen so many ructions of what happens with CAF and coaches having to sit in the grandstands or at times not even travel with the team because they didn't have the requisite qualifications now. And look at what a fine timing it's been for you.
Yes, it's come just at the right time. So, had I not been able to get on this course, then and we had qualified for Africa, I would have not been able to sit on the bench. But unfortunately, Robert, I got my UEFA A, back at the same time as Gavin and Eric, who are also on the course. But for some reason, it seemed like UEFA didn't want to recognize the CAF A licenses or the CAF licenses. And then CAF then thought, well, if that's the case, we don't recognize your UEFA licenses, so that UEFA A that I've got, that wasn't able to get me on the bench. So, but it's good, at this sort of stage to do another course. It's always nice to interact with, some of the other
colleagues,
coaches. It's good fun out there. People like Godfrey Sapula is on the course, Jabulanu Mendu and others. So it's nice to impart our knowledge, my experiences that I've had over the years to them. A lot of good up and coming coaches. It's been a great experience, learned a lot. But I'm also ready to have a break.
I was going to say, when do you get this thing called a break? Because I think for the listeners who might not have caught the first half of the show, chatting to Coach Fadlu Davids all the way in Morocco with Raja Casablanca right now, probably an invincible season that they're having with Coach Joseph Zinbauer. He's also qualified, got what you have with the UEFA A license. Just the importance of that, the learnership, the way the game has changed, the way it's been structured. There's a lot of analysis that goes into the game these days. What would you say when you look at the two comparatively? What you've achieved with the UEFA and then now with CAF? What is it that's bringing onto the table, really?
Yeah, I think I'd done my sort of UEFA many years back. It was sort of mid sort of 2005. I done then, a follow-up refresher in 2010. But I think the game has advanced so much in the last, since then. So on this course, there's been a lot more, things such as data analysis, just analysis. The way analysis has improved, not only on your own team but on the opposition team. Even on a sports science sort of front, things have advanced. So it is also good to get back, learning and seeing, what the latest developments worldwide are and on our own continent. I think that continuous learning as coaches is always good to refresh yourself and just, to keep yourself on your toes. Learning a lot again. And hopefully, I can take that knowledge and impart it to the rest of my coaches at Stellenbosch, right through the system to the youth coaches, to the women's team coach. It's not just knowledge for myself. I think it's knowledge that I want to gain and then take that knowledge out to the community and other coaches.
All right, so the show is live on the YouTube channel. So if you want to catch up, you want to check out Stevie B. He is here in person, which we're very grateful for. Abram Dumelomoloy says that congratulations to Coach for having a belief in the youth. This is great for our national teams. And that's the one thing you made mention early on, is just the ability to give a break to so many young players, but who have the ability. I've always thought that South Africa within the PSL, we wait until players are like 26, 27. We still call them youngsters. When they've reached the maturity age, they've won nothing. They've developed nowhere. They've remained the same. And yet, I don't know, deep down inside, I've always wanted to ask and say, what was it? Was it just the availability of those players, Coach? Was it a case of, why wait? You can do it now.
Yeah, I think, Robert, our secret to success in terms of bringing youngsters through lies in the fact that our sort of Disky program and our first team program are one. I fondly refer it to as one team that plays in two different venues on weekends. So we train alongside each other, we train with each other. And then, once you see those youngsters every day at training, training and experiencing training with the first team, if a player at a 17, 18-year-old in 2-3 months consistently shows that he can handle playing with and against the PSL level players, then you know that they're ready. There's no other gauge except seeing them on a daily basis playing with the PSL players, and so that's the way I sort of gauge that they're ready. So I think that synergy that the two programs have, the coach Evangelios Velios, myself, go a long way. So we talk every day. We share the same office. We share the same sort of training grounds, the same sort of methodology. Then it makes it a lot easier to bring in the youngsters because they know exactly what is required of them. And credit to our sort of youth coaches that are starting to now at under 16, under 18 level. The good coaching that the players are getting there means that they're readier earlier than maybe in the past when players, maybe those sort of structures weren't in place. So we're getting 17, 18-year-old players already technically well coached, tactically well coached. So then it's a lot easier to then give them that opportunity, and then it's up to the player once they take that opportunity. The typical example is Oluwetu Makanya. Got an opportunity, was only 6 months at the club, took it with both hands, had a wonderful second 6 months of the season, and now finds himself, in the MLS playing at Philadelphia Union. So if they're good enough, age doesn't matter.
Yeah, Jesus. I was going to say that, in as much as you discover them and you nurture them and you put them out there also comes a time like now where it is season where, potentially you might be losing more of those players. I've been monitoring and I've seen a guy like Jaden Adams who's attracted a lot of attention as well. And why not? Have you heard, have they confirmed anything? I mean, coming here into the studio, is he still your player?
Robert, he's our player. There's been, nothing that we've received from any other club in terms of offers. I've always said that, and I've always, even when I coached at University of Pretoria, I believe as PSL and as PSL coaches and as a league, we've got a responsibility towards the national team. It's our responsibility to get the players ready to enhance and improve our national team. So in cases like Jaden or Oluwetu, for example, if they've got better opportunities to play at a higher level, we need to let them go. We can't be selfish and keeping players that have the talent to play in Europe to stay in the country, because I believe if they go there, they experience more, it helps the national team. So in Jaden's case, and a couple of the younger players, other players, Stellenbosch is now a team that's challenging at the top end. We've won a trophy, we're playing in Africa. So I don't see any reason why a player like Jaden should easily go to any other club in the country, because we are as competitive as any other club. For me, the only move that he should consider and should take if there was a move overseas. But currently, there's nothing on the table for him. He's our player. He's doing really well. And I'm sure that should he stay at the club, he will have, again, another fantastic season for us.
Even if Sundowns came knocking?
Yeah, Rob, that would depend. I mean, I think the player himself, it gets to a stage where when money is thrown at you, that obviously falls into play. I don't believe that, we need to be sort of doing that. He's on the right trajectory in terms of his remuneration and his growth in the team. So sometimes when players get, spoken to and being promised and, know that they can perhaps earn that much more than what they're on, it does sort of change their mentality a bit. But one thing about Jaden, and we're speaking about him specifically, he just loves playing football.
Yeah.
When he doesn't want to know what regeneration is, what recovery is. The next day after a match, he says, please, I just want to train a little bit, I'll take it easy. So he just loves football. It's his safe haven. It's where he, does his thing. Going to a team perhaps where he may not play as regularly, I don't think it's the right move for him personally at this stage of his career. But we'll see what happens.
You must have been proud, more specifically, I know we're talking about him based on the prominence of having played and being part of the national team currently, where you help your national team to win a bronze medal at the Africa Cup of Nations. You finish a season as having the most assists, which is 6th. Vidal of TS Galaxy is the other one that had those numbers as well. For you and managing to produce that, I would think that you probably look around your squad and say, hey, Hugo Bros, in fact, you could have a whole lot more players coming through from Stellenbosch. I don't know if you share that same sentiment. I mean, I'll watch your guys week in and week out, and you can almost identify who can.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I think there's other players in the team that, deserve to be looked at and given that opportunity. So, Thabo Moliswane and Fawaz Basadine were sort of selected for the recent Bafana squad, the preliminary squad. So it does show that, they are out there. So I do think, and I think the players this season, made it clear that if we have success as a team, eventually, you keep knocking on the door and you keep proving yourself and putting in performances like you are, that you will get the opportunity. So I do feel that there are those players. The CASAFA tournament is happening soon. There's a number of our players that have been sort of, was requested. Are they available? Once again, we made all our players available because we believe, again, having a strong CASAFA team, doing well at CASAFA helps the national team. So we're just awaiting the final sort of team selection for that. But, there will be a number of players from Stellenbosch, hopefully, in that team. So they deserve the opportunity and they deserve everything, the recognition that they're getting.
Talk about recognition and getting recognition. We can't move away from what lies in front of us here, Coach, is that 7 of your players or staff members have been nominated across 10 different categories for the PSL Awards. Did you ever think you would get this far? And firstly, congratulations for that.
Yeah, it's. I didn't think, to be honest with you, it's when the season started and that you always want players to get the recognition that, they do deserve. But to have that many nominations, almost having a nomination in every single category, it's really proud for me to see that. It's proud for our club. It's proud for our fans and community to see that, the work that they put in each and every day as footballers, the way they train, the way they sort of have the desire to be successful. And they haven't always had that recognition that I believe they've already been showing signs of over the last couple of years. So this year, the recognition they're getting is just really deserved, and I'm very, very proud of that.
If you're judging, who's coach of the season?
No, I think it's the DStv Premiership coach of the season. So it's without a doubt has to be Rulani. A lot of people, to almost go the whole season unbeaten, to win the league by 20 plus odd points. As much as he's got, really talented, quality players, the best sort of squad in the league, the best depth in the league, it still takes a lot of doing to win leagues. So as DStv Premiership Coach of the season, there's no doubt that it should go to him.
But does it not fill you with a lot of joy and pride as well that your name has garnered so much attention, has garnered so much debate to say, okay, let's look at different factors that Sundowns have and what Stellenbosch don't have, and who stands in the middle of it is Steve Barker. How does that make you feel, and how would you enter into that conversation?
Yeah, look, I think if there was different ways and different formulas of looking at it, and looking at sort of the resources that you have compared the squad that you have in terms of experience and depth that you have, then obviously there's a conversation around that. Obviously, Coach Rivero's also done exceptionally well, winning 2 sort of cups, finishing second. So I think all the candidates I think are worthy of being nominated. But when it comes just to the actual DStv Premiership, when you win the league by that many points, it is difficult not to look at giving it to Coach Mokoena. I think Benny won it a couple of years back when he finished second
with Amazulu.
So it can happen that you don't win the league. But yeah, at that stage, maybe the gap wasn't as big as it is this season.
I mean, 23 points is a lot when you look at the many different individual records as well that have been garnered by Sundowns. But yeah, I mean, that's an honest assessment, Coach.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to the longest serving coach in the PSL. I think credit must go to Rob Bernardi, the Steadies Executive Committee, for giving Steve CVB a long contract so that he can exercise his managerial prerogative and embed his game models and philosophies into the team. And I don't think the success of the team would have been realized if he wasn't given that much time to embed and get the team to where it is at the moment. But my question to you, Coach, is with regards to youth progression and promotion into first team. What is it that Stellis is looking for? Because I was quite excited to see Ulangelihle making his debut against Richards Bay, knowing that not long ago we were watching him playing Engine Champ of Champs tournament for the under-18s, and now he's progressed into the first team, and we've seen the likes of Devin Titus, Jaden Adams, and the late football maestro Ashwin Andres also progressing through the similar pathway. And what is it that Stellis is doing different to other teams that you are able to confidently promote these youngsters into the first team and they are able to perform exceptionally and deliver as if they've been playing there for quite a long time? And is it true that the team is looking at Utato Khiba from TS Galaxy to strengthen your core squad for next season? Thank you so much, Tebogo,
thank you so much indeed. After the break, we'll ask those very important questions to Coach CVB.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
Turning up to the stadium to watch the game, but you left your ticket at home? Now that's an own goal. Or rushing to upgrade your satellite package just before kickoff? That's another epic own goal. And now, rating the ultimate own goals could win you a gaming session against Bukayo Saka and Luka Modric in Europe. Plus, there are loads of other prizes up for grabs. Find Snickers South Africa on Instagram to find out how to enter. T's and C's apply.
Still shopping around for a saving here and a deal there? With over 1,500 deals every week. Choose Checkers and save on Cadbury Chocolate Slab 80 grams, any two for 36 Rand. Nescafe Gold Instant Coffee, 200 grams for 129.99. And Pampers Jumbo Pack or Premium Care Value Pack disposable nappies or pants. Buy any two and save 30%. Valid until Sunday at Checkers and Checkers Hyper. Or shop on 6060.
And we will buy 500 cars and we will buy 500 more. Just to be the one who buys your car. We'll come to you and offer more. We buy cars, we buy cars. Da-da-dun-da-da-dun-da-da-dun-da-da-da-da. We buy cars, we buy cars. Da-da-dun-da-da-dun-da-da-dun-da-da-da-da.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Medical aid plans, they're normally like this.
So, you'll need to take this form and this. So don't forget this too. Okay, wait. Don't forget this one. Wait. Okay, done.
My back!
Sorry, sir. That's gonna have to come out of your savings.
At Bonitas, we make our plans simple, so they're easy to understand. We also offer a benefit booster and a range of other benefits that don't come off your savings. Visit bonitas.co.za when you need us. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. T's and C's apply.
Race for riches with Hollywood Bets. Spin a song, get jackpot race. Bet R2 or more on selected games every Wednesday, Friday and Saturday between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. You could win your share of 3 million rand. Take the spin of a lifetime and play now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
In today's digital era, internet and broadband data services are essential for consumers and businesses to thrive. Zaltec Telecoms is at the forefront of providing innovative solutions to transform traditional businesses and homes into fully connected digital environments, offering a range of tailored telecommunication services, including fiber, as well as solar power and green energy solutions. Visit zaltectelecoms.co.za to unlock a world of connectivity.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Coach Jose Riviera, Orlando Pirates coach, joins me.
Boom. Oh, happy people! Happy people! Now it's a happy people, Mr. Marawa.
That's the excitement, Coach, that you brought to the fans. I heard you singing there. I'm sorry I had the microphone off. I heard you joining in the singing.
Actually, my daughter loved that song, so I used to play at home.
Is that the one, Coach? Only magic can happen when the song is playing, isn't it? Hey!
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Questions and comments, it is buzzing again there on the YouTube channel, so keep those coming through. We'll try and get through some of the questions, some of your WhatsApp voice notes. Going to be very little of me talking. It's going to be more of you. Coach, as you heard Tebogo there just going into the break, giving us a summation of, firstly, just about the youth progression is what he talked about, and he was quite happy to see somebody like Langelihle playing, making his debut against Richards Bay, praising the likes of Titus, etc. How do you respond to his greater comments that he made?
Yeah, no, I think, as I said earlier, we work really closely with our Diski players, so, I'm really on top of who's coming through and who's showing potential. I mean, Langelihle, we know him as Major. He won the Engine Player of the Tournament down in KwaZulu-Natal. Came to us, was Player of the Tournament during the Cape Engine, and then went to the National Championships, of which they won the Engine champions. Again, having a really superb season. He's been very influential in our Diski team and winning promotion. So we see him training, and I think he's one of the players that will be brought into the first team PSL squad for next season. I think he's a player with immense potential. It's not easy to find players that have the ability to take players on a consistent basis and keep on doing it and have the bravery and the courage. So I predict a very bright future for him. We're happy that we can give the players opportunity once they show and they deserve it.
Hi Marawa, and also greetings to Stevie B, Umkumbika Kumalolo. What a coach, and what a team Stellenbosch FC has turned out to be. And in drawing comparison, I look at Stellenbosch and I draw comparison with Southampton in England. This is a team, Marawa, that has found the value in developing your own players. When people are going out to buy these exorbitant players who are big names, Stellenbosch will just go for the local boys. I look at the players that are playing now, Van Wyk, Jaden Adams, and other youngsters. These are the players that were developed. They went through the process. They went through the development phases of this team. They are Stellenbosch. You're doing a great job there, Mr. Barker, I must say. And I don't know, maybe if you can maybe just comment about that, the value in developing your own players that have got the DNA and understand the uniqueness of the Stellenbosch system that you play and the identity of the team. Otherwise, you're doing a great job, Mr. B.
Kumbi Kumar, thank you. Coach?
Yeah. No, thank you very much for the congratulations. I think, again, our Diski team, they won the league, with those players, with the core of the team being Devon Titus, Jaden Adams, Tonio van Wyk, and now, we've got a new batch of youngsters that have also won the Diski. So what we are creating, and we work hard each and every day, is to create that sort of culture at the club of excellence, of having a winning mentality. So once you learn how to win leagues at a younger age, and you've been through that process, knowing how tough it is and how difficult it is, it would not make sense for us to retain and keep those players core to the club, because they now know exactly what the DNA of the club is, as you rightly said. They know the way we do things. They've integrated into the program. So then it becomes a lot easier once they get to the PSL team. And, once you have players that have won leagues over a number of years as your core group of players, then, I believe that it can bring you success. And if we're able to retain these players over a longer period of time, I do believe that, we will challenge to win the league sooner rather than later.
All right, let me go on the line. There we got from the Northwest, we got Tabe Mokgeti. I'm coming to you in a second. Tabe, good evening.
Good evening, Rob.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rob. Rob, quick comment. Let me start by congratulating Coach Steve Barker for a good season.
Yeah,
for
go
a good
ahead.
Season, for a good season, Robert. He did well with a team that had no stars, Robert, no big name player. All you was playing with was the development players, Robert. And I would like to congratulate him. And going to Africa, let it be no pressure on him. It's his first tournament. He will do better. And lastly, Robert, my question to Steve is, does he consider going to Kaizer Chiefs if they approach him? And please, Rob, let the coach answer me like someone who, he must just tell me the truth like someone who is dying, Rob. Thank you very much.
Like someone who's what? Thank you, Tabe. Thank you very much indeed. How do you answer that?
Rob, I think obviously I'm happy where I am. I think we're at a club that's very progressive and, a club environment that, I'm really enjoying working with and the ability to bring the young players through. But, as a coach, one never says no. As I said, I'm happy where I am and I've had no approach from anybody else. So my focus is solely on ensuring that we continue to be better each and every season. And also now going into Africa that, we can go there and be competitive. So that is where my focus is. All my planning is there. But, as all coaches and players, you also have ambitions, to further your career. I've always stated that, my late uncle Clive, he was an inspiration to me, having coached Bafana and won the AFCON with him. If I could just achieve half of what he's achieved, I could look back at my career and be happy with it. Right now I'm got a long-term contract with the club. I'm happy where I am, and will continue to just work and serve the club, wherever that may be.
Mokgeti in Tembisa, good evening.
Thank you, Robert. How are you?
I'm good, man. Coach is here.
Steve, thank you very much for a wonderful season that you have given us as South African football fans. Your team is playing super exciting football. I've got one question for you. What are the 2 codes of conduct that forces you as a team to expel a player? Thank you, Coach. All the best for next season.
Mokgeti, thank you so much indeed. Coach?
Thank you. I think when all our players arrive at the club, we have a standard code of conduct that we expect the players to adhere to. We are a club that has also a player support program. We've got a sports psychologist. We've also got Bruce Naden of the Sports Chaplaincy of South Africa that's there to support. A lot of our young players come sort of from difficult backgrounds, fatherless homes. So it's our responsibility first and foremost to guide them, to assist them, to support them as much as we can. But there is a limit to, transgressions that players do. It's never a situation of just first time, we do act upon it, obviously depending on the scale of the transgression. So we first and foremost, see the players as citizens of the country, as brothers, as fathers. We want them to live a life that they can be proud of. So that is big on our sort of agenda. However, a code of conduct is there to ensure that the culture of the club remains the way it should be. And if we don't act upon some of these transgressions that unfortunately the players have made over the last season, we will not be true to the values, core values of the football club.
And the release of Mgaga Sekgota?
Yeah, I think at the stage, KG, he came and we gave him an opportunity to sort of maybe resurrect his career. Things did start well. It went really well, but unfortunately, KG let himself down, on his own admittance.
Sure.
We did see him the other day when we played Swallows. He was at the match. We had a good chat. He has repented, and I just hope that he gets his football career back on track. A really talented player. Gaga currently, it's not through any transgression. It became the end of his contract. Also again a fantastic footballer who wasn't getting as much game time as he had wanted. He's looking to go and again, get more minutes perhaps somewhere else. So we wish him well. We never let our players go without a tinge of sadness. It's they become part of the family, so it's never easy decisions that we make. But be rest assured, once we do make the decision, we've exhausted every avenue of first trying to help the player, giving them support, providing that for him. But yeah, sometimes players just, they don't learn, unfortunately.
All right, you got a message coming through from Bra Kenneth at Amatax. He says, good evening, Coach Steve was instrumental where Amatax is today. The history of the club won't be complete without his engraved name on it. He says, I'm forever grateful to have worked with him. He's a very principled person, very professional. We would not agree all the time, but we were always guided by the vision of the club. Congratulations for his success and also his achievements. Best luck to him.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. K. Spent many years at Tux, Robert, with Mr. Kenneth running the football program. Credit to him for what he's done at Tux. To continue having a university team participating at the highest level professionally, doing well at USA tournaments, doing well at varsity football, having students that are playing and players that become students. One of my favorite players who, when I was growing up at Tux, Tokosani Sekatlong, has now returned to Amatax, but is also now studying. So the work that they're doing at Amatax is really fantastic. It's going to be interesting playoffs. I saw 2 teams on 3 points. Both home teams have won. So over to Baraka on the weekend to see if they can even it all up. But thank you, Mr. K. Appreciate it. And good luck for the playoffs.
Yeah, well, Baraka saying goodbye to Dan Dance as well. Hey, who knows what that's all about?
Hi, Rob. Hi, Coach Steve. Just like to congratulate the coach on everything that he's done this season. But I saw it coming for years. I once played against his team, Tax, when I was in the Vodacom League. So I've seen his capabilities. He's just underrated. And by far, he's the best coach in South Africa. I have no doubt about that.
Hello, Marawa, and hello to Coach Steve Bakker. Coach, congratulations on your good run this season. Also, congratulations on winning Culling Knockout. For CAF Confederations Cup, please use Danny Craven. I think that ground is a slaughterhouse. You will beat teams there. And also, I will letting Ihram Reynas go, or he's staying at Stellenbosch. Thank you, Coach. All the best for next season. Thank you. This is True Love in Richards Bay. And thank you, Marawa.
True Love, thank you so much indeed, Coach.
Yeah, Danny Craven has become a difficult place for teams to come play. I do know CAF have also, standards and regulations in terms of fields. So I'm sure they'll come and inspect, and hopefully it can be sort of allowed for us to play there. It's a wonderful stadium. I don't think there's a ground worldwide that has the views that it has in the background. It's just amazing. And if we do have that venue as an African venue, then I'm sure we'll be able to get many, many numbers in the stands and supporting the team. So it's important to have your own home ground. I still have a tinge of sadness and regret when we lost to Pirates in the MTN8 semi-final on away goals, and we never played at our home ground. But yeah, let's hope that we can play our matches. We can play our matches there.
I was going to say that, it brings one to the conversation where you managed a domestic double, including Orlando Pirates. And that is a rare feat where you go through a domestic double, with Orlando Pirates, with Cape Town City, with Royal AM, with TS Galaxy, all in one season. The double D.
Yeah, the double D. Our Diski team also beat Pirates twice, so we got a double. But yeah, one of my iconic sort of memories of this last season was just a special 8 minutes of football when we played at the Orlando Stadium, 2-0 down, 29th of December, against Pirates, who come back and win 3-2. I think that game in itself just showed us, what we can do and what we're capable of doing, and I think that gave us a whole lot of belief to have been able to, come back. I think it's maybe the second time in the whole history that Pirates lost after leading 2-0 at home. So a wonderful night of football, 8 to 10 minutes of just something that I couldn't believe what was happening in front of my eyes.
Madness,
but yeah, it was madness. I couldn't even celebrate. I was just, just saying, is this really happening? I needed to pinch myself. But yeah, what a night that was.
What a season you've given us. And, didn't even touch on most of the other things I wanted to chat to you about, but knowing that you've had players from 18 different countries really having played for Stellenbosch says a lot. 12 players who've made their debuts as well. 13 different players who've managed to score in all competitions. The club record, 14 wins in the Premiership, is something that, you know what, it's a good thing I can't say the F word on radio. But you've had, Coach, you have had a fantastic season. You've had a fantabulous season, a funky, phenomenal football season. That's what you've had, Coach. And I thank you so much for coming through. What a moment, what a time. Continue doing the work.
Thank you, Robert. Always a pleasure.
Oh, Coach Stevie B, man. Time is gone. Our enemy. Now that was... that was the Wednesday Soccer Nights right here on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, as well as Sowetan Live with myself, Robert Marawa. Win with Snickers. Go to Snickers South Africa on Instagram for more details. See you tomorrow.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.